guys, welcome to Andaaz. Andaaz is an inspirational show brought to you from the United States. And every week we scour the country to talk to great minds to bring you fabulous topics that are going to blow you away. And this week we are here in the heart of Silicon Valley and we delve into the world of innovation. We are actually living in one of the most innovative times in history. In the next 10 years, we're going to see some of the world's greatest challenges being solved, from poverty, education, healthcare, and water. And in today's episode, we're going to touch upon how that's going to happen. First, we head over to Z-Space. Could you ever imagine your computer right in front of you as actually in 3D, where you can pick up objects from your computer, turn them around, and take a look? Well, guess what? It's happening as we speak. Let's go take a look.
My application on the iPad is interesting. My application on Z-Space is absolutely incredible.
At Z-Space, we've created this new innovative virtual reality platform that sits on a desk. I've been working in Silicon Valley for the good part of 30 years making products, and this is by far the most exciting thing I've ever worked on.
We wanted to build something that would really change the world. And the vision is to have Z-Space on everybody's desktop. Education, how people learn, how people work, how people play.
This blew my mind, and my mind never gets blown.
That happens with Z-Space in ways that, and the reasons for that are kind of difficult to explain. We're starting to understand it. It has to do with expectations, it has to do with history of computer displays, what people think they're going to do. It has to do with the difficulty of trying to describe to somebody what's going to happen. When I took you over to show it to you, it was hard for me to say, here, Robin, here's what we're going to see, right? Rather better is just to sit you in front of it. The idea, the concept, just blew me away, and I said, okay, we have to make this.
How do you create something like this?
There's this stereo display, which has got to be high performance. There's a bunch of tracking involved because the perspectives are based on where your head is and this stylus interaction. All of it has to be done really naturally, really low latency. And it detects your motion and your hand motion. Yeah, and then a whole bunch of software enables the application development community to write applications to take advantage of the whole platform. So we had to take all of those pieces and put them together into something that fits.
Well, I think the way we consume our content is going to continue to change and evolve. And I don't think we have the answer today. I think it's going to become more interactive. I think it's going to become more participatory, where audiences get to participate in the content.
A big part of the value of this system is in collaboration. Mm-hmm. You can imagine a number of students either in the same classroom or maybe spread out all over the world working on this design together. And so they can all see their version of it. They're all looking around, moving it, and let's say that you're leading through a discussion, or you're saying, hey, I think this hydraulic system has got these kinds of characteristics.
It's pretty cool because you can actually go in there and see how it was made.
I think what 3D does, when people use it for education or watch, they retain more because the 3D actually activates more of the brain. So you're holding more of a retention. You have a greater connection to that.
It's the engaging part of this thing. It's the fact that it's so intuitive, the fact that the kids get to interact, do things at the pace that they want. Kids learn by doing, right? So you can practice, you can the fact that that stylus is one-to-one, there's this feedback into your brain when you reach in and move your hand this amount, that something happens by that amount in there.
I mean, it's a great way to memorize. Are we seeing this in schools today?
It's just happening even in a couple of local middle schools. And then of course they're in higher education all over the country, and you can take MRI data and cut through it.
And people are continuing to develop new innovative applications, things that we didn't even think of ourselves. It's an absolutely revolutionary product.
Wow, that was so cool going to Z-Space. I just love how this technology is going to change the face of education. Imagine those medical students that can now actually pick up the heart and go inside, or engineering students who can actually actually go on their computers and put together robots and artificial intelligence. Next, we hear from our favorite intellectual. He was one of Time's top 40 most influential voices in Silicon Valley. Let's go take a look.
Anyone can be successful. You just have to take the risk and make it happen. Have confidence in yourself. Be bold. Believe it or not, there was a time when I was very shy. I was an introvert. Now if you see me, I'm everywhere. I'm talking about so many different topics. What I realize is that I can just be myself. I can just say what I want, do what I want, and the world will adjust to me. So don't be shy, don't be an introvert, just be yourself, set your goals and go and achieve it. You can live the life that you want to live, you can be as successful as you want to be. There's nothing stopping you. Just go and do it.
Andaaz, brought to you by Intellius. Live in the know. Visit www.intellius.com. Usha Ji, your spiritual advisor. Call now or visit ushaji.org. Trivium Corporate Solutions, for the life of your business. triviumcs.com.
Thank you, Vivek. I just love your tips each and every week. It's so true. Everyone should go out there and be bold. So this next guest I find very, very interesting. In fact, I was just hanging out at the Spirituality and Science Conference in San Jose, and I met him behind the scenes. And we started having a discussion, and I was like, you know what? We've got to interview you. Camera's on and let's go. And it was a very candid interview. He was talking about how in his dreams, he actually uses a technique called lucid dreaming, where he can call upon people in his dreams and have conversations where he has cured some of the world's most challenging diseases. Dr. Rudolph Tanzi, the author of The Superbrain. Let's go take a look.
Alzheimer's disease is just as much or more a learning disease as it is a memory disease. We often say, oh, well, my grandmother can't remember what happened 5 minutes ago. No, it's not that she can't remember it, she never learned it. You can't remember what you didn't learn. If you're not making those synapses and connections correctly and they're being short-circuited, you never learned in the first place. You never registered what happened 5 minutes ago.
Hi, Rudy. Welcome to the show.
It's great to be here.
I'm just so fascinated that I got to meet you here at the SANS conference because I just love the brains and how meditation affects the brain and all of the latest discoveries that have been going on. So let's just start right off with telling our viewers about Superbrain.
The main concept of Superbrain is to say that consciousness and the mind is separate from the brain. That the real you, the self-aware you, exists in consciousness. At the end of the book, we even propose that the brain is a construct of consciousness that allows consciousness to become aware of itself. So basically, a loop of consciousness becoming conscious of itself includes the use of something like the brain, which is our nervous system, and we use that brain to create a universe, and that universe is only relevant for us and our species.
Right.
And it's different than the universe that a bacterium lives in, who creates an entirely different, set of attractions and repulsions
Towards them.
that with a very primitive form, facsimile of a nervous system. So the idea is that in the end, to remember that you're not your brain, that you're the user of your brain. Your brain is your ally, and it's waiting for guidance from you, and it's waiting for you to teach it and lead it to help you create the universe you want to live in.
Okay, that's interesting. Sometimes I get confused about what's talking to me. Is it my brain or my thoughts, or is it that inside thing that's controlling my brain, the soul?
We would argue that anytime there's internal monologue or dialogue in the head,
yes,
that this is the same as your stomach rumbling. It's an organ doing its job, delivering you signals to help you survive. So, same thing with emotions. Fear is just memory of pain, desire, memory of pleasure. So now with this memory aspect, you start to have personality, you start to have some sense of self. But the important thing to remember is the self is not just the sum of those thoughts and feelings. Those thoughts and feelings are delivered to you by the brain. The real you is that self-aware being who is observing thoughts and feelings delivered to you by the brain. The best thing you can do is not control it, but observe it, learn from it, and detach.
Every 72 seconds in this country, a new case of Alzheimer's is diagnosed. 40% of our population at the age of 85 will have this disease. That's pretty scary when lifespan is approaching about 80 years old right now, especially with all the baby boomers coming around. We have 0 drugs that can treat this disease and stop it. We have drugs that treat symptoms temporarily with some benefit. They certainly don't hit the disease.
Alzheimer's is a big problem these days, or it has been. And I know many people are worried about it. So what can one do to take precautions?
In Alzheimer's disease, at some point, losing that ability to have self, you're losing that consciousness to define self. So you're living right in the moment. And that sounds good. Oh, wow, we all want to try to live in the moment. But it's only useful and blissful to live in the moment if you have self as well to realize it.
So how did you get into this research?
I've always been interested in the more metaphysical side of the brain and consciousness. Growing up, I read a lot of Castaneda, and because of that, I became a lucid dreamer, lucid dream practicer, and I lucid dream deliberately twice a week.
So,
but no more than that.
So explain to our viewers what lucid dreaming is.
So lucid dreaming is basically waking up in your dream to be as conscious and awake as you are right now, but you're in a dreamscape. And then learning how to stay in that dreamscape, interact with it, ask questions, and just explore consciousness from a dreamscape. Now, I don't know who these people are that I talk to and where they come from and how they get configured in my dream, but
you've learned a lot.
But I learned from them. I asked them questions about my research. I asked them for guidance, but a lot of the genes that we found came from clues that I got from when we were hunting for them from lucid dreaming.
Thank you so much. It's been fabulous talking with you. I wish you all the best with Supergene, and I will let you know my thoughts on Superbrain as well as talk about it on my website.
Cool, great.
We now have over 100 Alzheimer's genes, getting closer to this goal of early prediction, early detection, and early prevention. So I believe, just like many other diseases that threaten healthy aging, we will eradicate Alzheimer's, hopefully by 2020, through pharmacogenetics, stop the disease before it strikes, and use genes to do it. Thank you very much for your attention.
Dr. Tanzi. After my discussion with you, I've actually been trying to practice lucid dreaming. I haven't been able to quite do it yet, but I think I'm just going to keep trugging along on that journey. And next we hear from Usha Ji. She gives us a tip of the week on how we can decipher our dreams. Let's go take a look.
Hi, I'm Usha. I'm your spiritual advisor. People ask me if their dreams have meanings. Dreams can have very deep meanings, not just about events to come, but also about what is going on with you physically, emotionally, at the very moment when you are having dreams. Many people have dreams as premonitions, and they feel they have an insight into what events are coming in. However, dreams can also help you heal from within, because they might bring up not just an event that has occurred in this present life, but also an event from a past life as well. And it may be carried through emotionally within your memory bank. If you would like to get the understanding behind what you're dreaming about, call me. I'm here to guide you and help you.
Andaaz, brought to you by Intellius. Live in the know. Visit www.intellius.com. Usha Ji, your spiritual advisor. Call now or visit ushag.org. Trivium Corporate Solutions, for the life of your business, triviumcs.com.
Thank you, Usha Ji. Well, we also had a chance to talk to Jon Landau at the ZCon conference, and he talks to us about the technology for tomorrow in cinema. Let's go take a look.
When we were lucky enough to win the Oscar, I got up there, and much to the chagrin of ABC, I thanked 53 people. I thanked them. Why? Because they represented the hundreds, if not thousands of people who contributed to the film. And I think in whatever you're doing, it's a collaborative effort. And understanding, it's not what you want. What does your consumer want? And the products that I turn to and I go back to over time, the brands that I respond to, it's because I have an emotional connection. So yes, utilize the technology, but do it in a way that creates that connection with people. Then you will truly have something that's revolutionary.
Your keynote was just so fabulous, and you're one of the great pioneers as far as innovation in filmmaking with Titanic and Avatar. What was it like to actually be one of those pioneers? I mean, you've changed the industry.
Well, we don't ever look at ourselves as pioneers. We look at ourselves as storytellers. And what we want to do is we want to bring innovation to our storytelling so that we could tell it in new ways and more compelling ways so that the audience feels a part of our stories. And what I'm so excited about being here at ZCon is I see ZSpace doing that. It's a way to envelop the user more in the content that they're working with in the computing space.
How is that going to change the film industry? Are we going to be able to interact with our movies soon at home?
Well, I think the first way it's going to change the film industry is in how we make our films. I think ZSpace has the potential to be used in the design of our films, where you can actually pick up things that you're designing. You can do it in a collaborative workspace, where you can work with someone else in a remote location. I think those are the critical things for our future. For our cast, we knew they were going to be working in a very sterile environment. So we took them to the rainforests of Hawaii to rehearse. And we were out there on our last day rehearsing. And Sam Worthington, who plays Jake, he was out there in a loincloth, a bad wig with a ponytail, a plastic bow in his hand, and Jim Cameron recording on like a handheld video camera. And sure enough, somebody's out there walking their dog. And they look at Sam and they go, "What are you doing?" Sam goes, "We're making a movie, mate." And he goes, "You're making a movie?" Sam goes, "Yeah. See that guy over there?" And he points to Jim with the handheld camera. He goes, "That's Jim Cameron. He did Titanic." The guy looks over and goes, "Boy, he's gone downhill." That is a true story.
So for somebody young out there that's aspiring to be a producer like you, who works on these amazing films that are life-changing and the whole world sees them, what advice do you have to make their dreams turn into reality?
Go and do. I think that people want something, but they don't go out there and take the initiative to do it. Go and make movies, but don't make movies for yourself, because it's not what you think of what you made, it's what do others think of what you make. Are you reaching them? Are they hearing what you want to tell them? So go out there, get the feedback, make mistakes, learn from those mistakes, and just continue to make films.
What would be your next dream project that could actually change the way people think?
My next dream project would be the next two Avatars. If you look at the first Avatar film, the movie opens and closes with the same image, Jake opening his eyes. And I think that my hope would be the next Avatar movies do the same things. They challenge people to open their eyes and understand what world we live in and how our actions have an impact on that. But to do it in a way that the story, they're engaged in our narrative storytelling. Its innovation is in a leap of faith. Don't be afraid to fail. Just be afraid not to try. And if you do that, I am so excited to see the possibilities that come out of ZSpace in the future. I wish you all the best of luck. Thank you very, very much.
That was so much fun hanging out with all those great minds at ZCon. My favorite part was holding up that real Oscar. Wow, what a treat that was. And we bring on our beautiful host, Justine, who's going to tell us all about this week's social media competition. And I'll see you all next week.
Hi guys, I'm so excited to tell you guys about this week's social media contest. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, where we will be giving away a signed copy of Kevin Hines' book, Cracked Not Broken. Also, be sure to check us out on Twitter for our Twitter View Tuesdays, where one of our past guests will be tuning in and you can ask them live questions. We'd love to hear from you guys, so be sure to send us messages, let us know how your week's going, share a funny story, and also, you guys remember Usha-ji, right? Well, Usha-ji will actually be answering some of the questions that you guys might have, so be sure to send us a message. Did you guys know that soon our mobile phones will be replacing doctors? Well, it's happening now. We talk with Dr. Daniel Kraft, who's one of the fathers of innovative healthcare, about just how that's happening. Let's go take a look, and we'll see you right here next week on Andaaz.
I'm holding in my hand a $35 tablet, Android-based, that's now being shipped out of India. Imagine the potential to affect education and healthcare with a $35 tablet. And we're seeing that apps, in a sense, with these feedback loops, for example, in diabetes, can dramatically improve outcome. And I think it won't be too long before we start prescribing apps as opposed to just drugs and devices.
Is the normal person going to be able to understand this without a medical degree?
And we're seeing several organizations change the way we look at healthcare information so it's actionable and more useful. So our phones are really becoming healthcare platforms, and they're increasingly becoming a way for you as a patient or just someone trying to stay healthy to look at their own information. So for example, this is the AliveCore case, simple EKG case. I can read my EKG in real time.
So you can read that, but I don't know how to read that. Is that going to be able to tell me something directly?
Right now, this EKG could be sent directly to your cardiologist. You could get a quick EKG from the patient. But you're right, you may not know how to interpret that data. So this needs to now be turned into something that say, well, this looks like you're in atrial fibrillation or having an issue with your heart that you're not aware of. So having smart user interfaces with those and ways to read and share that information is important.
Someone be able to extract that and just give you a warning sign or a red light or something on a dashboard.
Right. It's going to be a dashboard. So the Jawbone Up I'm wearing has a nice dashboard, and I can see how much I slept, how many steps I've taken today.
I like that.
How much
you should
activity.
be sleeping more.
Yeah, I should be sleeping more, of course. It's this kind of way to see the information and make sense of it that's critical. And that's coming not just to our smartphones, but to dashboards in our homes and our mirrors in our bathrooms. I think if you can see the healthy you, if you're trying to get on a diet and change your activity level and stay on top of some regimen, either for prevention or to treat a chronic disease, if you can look in your mirror every morning when you're brushing your teeth, and soon your toothbrush will track how long you're brushing your teeth and give you points if you've done enough, you'll see maybe what your physiology was doing over the last few days and help prompt you into action. Or maybe you'll see an avatar of the virtual Robin. If Robin wanted to lose weight, you can see how you were doing if you exercised and lost weight, or if you started eating unhealthy, where you were headed. If you see the mirror of you a month or two or 6 months or 6 years ahead, that's going to give your brain, using sort of augmented reality, an opportunity to rewire.
Could we take some of that and maybe send it to my spouse or my boyfriend or my mom or my doctor, so they can help give me some feedback?
So I think the future of medicine in some ways is I'm going to prescribe you an app and maybe a device, not just a drug or a device. So for example, if I'm going to prescribe you exercise to lower your cholesterol and your blood pressure, before I even give you a cholesterol and blood pressure, I'm going to give you an app. I might give you a device like this, and I'm going to say you're prescribed to walk at least 1 hour a day, and I'm going to know. Many of you can go into an Apple store or a Best Buy and buy now connected blood pressure cuffs, scales that will tweet your weight whether you want to or not. Health insurance go down if they've been acting healthily.
So it could save me money if I do some behavior modification and people are watching me do this.
Right. In some cases, if you quit smoking, you exercise, you go and check in the gym, you're going to be at lower risk, so your insurance payers, insurance companies are going to start lowering the premium. That's a model maybe in the US, but it'll also be across the world.
So it's not just saving money, it's about saving lives.
Saving lives, improving health span, not just lifespan, improving your ability to contribute and interact with your friends and family. All that is dependent on having good health. Understand where disruption could be coming from and the power of convergence, that we can start to redefine medicine in new ways. In many ways, the future is already here. It's just not evenly distributed. But those of us in the audience and those online and those watching know actually the best way to predict the future is to go out there and create it.
Andaaz, brought to you by Intellius. Live in the know. Visit www.intellius.com. Usha Ji, your spiritual advisor. Call now or visit ushaji.org. Trivium Corporate Solutions, for the life of your business, triviumcs.com.